Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. It starts at the end. My intro is actually filmed at the end of the video. I was intending to go down to Brighton anyway, and I thought I would try out the Electric Blue network of chargers, lamppost-based systems, and it's a great idea, but it didn't really work out as planned. I didn't have any luck, and yeah, watch the video and you'll see what happened. It was an unlucky day. So yeah, here we go. Hi everyone. So I'm heading down to Brighton, and I thought today I'd go and try out the new Electric Blue charging network that's been recently set up in Brighton. Basically, it's a system that allows you to charge your lampposts, and there are, I'm not sure the exact number, I'll have a look on their website in a minute, but yeah, there's probably over 100 locations that you can charge using their network implementation system. It's a great idea. It means that if you live in the city of Brighton, you can charge your EV using on-street parking in the right locations, and it doesn't really matter if you don't have off-road parking and the ability to charge at home. So yeah, that's what we're going to do in this video, and once again, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like down at the bottom to be notified about future videos, and hopefully this will be an interesting one to see what it's like to use an on-street parking electric car charging system down in Brighton. So firstly, how do you charge your electric car if you live in a city and you don't have the ability to charge at home? That is going to be a serious consideration for a lot of potential EV car owners. If you can't charge easily at home, then all of the people that I know that have been hesitant to look at electric cars, the big problem is how do they charge if they don't have a driveway where they can plug in and if they have to park on the street. So there's two solutions to that problem really. One of them is rapid charging regularly. So say you charge once a week, perhaps at the supermarket, maybe twice a week, you could do that. Or you could charge at work if you have those facilities to do so. But I think it's going to be a big limitation not being able to charge at home or on your own driveway. Certainly the cost is one factor. So being able to charge using an eco tariff, I've mentioned again in other videos like Octopus, Agile or Go, will save a lot of money. Now, these kinds of networks like Electric Blue in Brighton, they don't appear to be all that cheap, and that's going to be one of the issues. So that is going to mean a lot of EV drivers aren't going to be able to save a significant amount of money. There's that to consider, and then there's also the fact that many of them seem to be 3 kilowatt chargers, so they're going to be quite slow, which will allow you to charge fine overnight. That's no problem, but unfortunately, because they come off the lamppost system, there must be some limitations there in terms of what kind of power they can supply. But this kind of network is relevant because at the moment in Brighton, there aren't that many rapid chargers. So I'll show you a little shot here of ZapMap. Look at this. In Leeds and Bradford, there are loads of rapid chargers available. And many of these are actually free. And I don't think this is something that's going to carry on for the long term because people are going to have to pay for power, and I believe this particular scheme is short-term free charging. But it is a relevant consideration that there are cities in the country that have decided to go down the route of fast charging and providing more of those, whereas a city like Brighton, yeah, it's quite small, so to be fair, it's quite difficult for that perhaps to be implemented. So instead they've gone with a slower charging network. But I'm not really convinced that on a long-term basis is actually the best thing for most people. But still, it's really great that it's there, and we'll see in this video what it's like to actually use. Just for a little bit of fun, I've decided to reset my trip computer. I've just got to the edge of Brighton. So this is city driving from here down to the seafront where we're going to charge, or at least close to the seafront. So reset the trip computer. I've turned one pedal driving off, and I've turned the air conditioning off as well. So basically trying to use as little energy as possible. And we'll see what kind of consumption we get driving from here down to the seafront and also back to this point when we leave Brighton. Now, this is something that a lot of EV drivers do find, that turning off the one pedal driving or regenerative braking can actually give you the best range. So the BMW 330e, if you select eco mode, it actually gives you more bias towards coasting. And then when you brake, obviously then the motors kick in and you do get the regenerative element there. But I guess that's the theory, that actually having one pedal driving off and coasting as much as possible will save energy. So I've left the heated steering wheel on the lowest setting and the heated seat because I don't really want to freeze. It's quite cold today. But yeah, let's see what happens and what kind of consumption figures we get when driving in the city at low speeds with the air off. Okay, so we're just pulling up here at this charger. This is the new one. It appears to be, yeah, it's got the electric blue signage on it and EV Link. So that's this used to be a charger that was provided by the Brighton Council, actually, and back then it was well, you could use a Polar membership with it. So I used to park here quite regularly. You'd get free parking and you'd be able to charge for free with a Polar card. So it's quite interesting to see that they've replaced that and taken away that free benefit, which is kind of a shame, because I used to really obviously enjoy using that, and as did anyone else who came down to Brighton or lived in the area that could get free charging. So yeah, let's hop out and give it a try and see if we can get this one working. This is one thing that I do find kind of annoying. To open the front, you have to pop it open like a typical front, like the front of a car with an engine, and you do it with a lever, and then you have to move this. It would be much easier if you could just open it without having to go through that process. But I guess, you know, this is typically being hybridized from a normal car, so it's kind of annoying. Okay, so we're signed into the account, so it's a scan QR code. Let's do that then. Allow, and we'll scan the QR code here. Okay, there we go. Are you at Ditchling Road? Yes, I am. Proceed. Okay, so it says enter vehicle registration number. Let's do that. Okay, done the vehicle reg, so it wants me to put make and model. Doesn't have Polestar, does it? So that's select other. Okay, well, that doesn't matter. Let's proceed. Please select valid model. Well, you can't. So this is great. This is a non-starter. Let's try Volvo then. I don't know. It's not. I don't know. Like, why? Okay. So I've got the wrong car already. 27 pence per kilowatt hour. Okay, confirm. So yeah, it looks. Please select the desired connector type from below. Type 2. Okay, that's fine. Proceed to pay. Is type 2 connected? Is this correct? Yes. Okay, so now we're going to do the payment. That's good. Authorization successful. Ensure your ignition is off and the plug is connected. Okay. Start charge. Confirm and select the connector type on the charge screen. Connect the connector to your car. Press start on the charge screen and then press on the proceed button below. Okay, yeah, I've done all of that. So let's try the proceed button. So yeah, you can see this whole process. That probably took about 5 minutes maybe. Okay, so probably about 7 attempts, I'd say now, trying to get this charger to work. And as you can imagine, I'm getting bored now. So the main issue seems to be that no matter what I do, it has this green button here, you can see. Press this green button and it makes this horrible clicking sound. Probably, I'm not sure if you can hear that, but you'll see now it just goes red and it fails. So it just won't even get started. And that's really frustrating because, you know, you can see here now we've got the yellow light. Okay, yeah, so as I said, that didn't work, and I don't know why. It doesn't say anything's wrong with it on the app, but I think I will go and try a different location now. There's so many to choose from around Brighton, so let's see if we get any better results from a different unit. Okay, so according to Zap Map, there is a charger down here, one of the new electric blue ones, but I can't see it. Well, that's another bad start. Yep, dead end, and this charger doesn't seem to exist. Yeah, look, this is what I'm talking about. Right here on Ivory Place, it's called. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but according to Zap Map, there's there's a charger here. I just drove down this street and no sign of it. But let's keep looking. Maybe I went the wrong way. Maybe I just didn't see it. But let's just drive back that way and see if I can find it. Nope. So I've driven around this street and had a really good look, and I can't find the charger anywhere. And that's not to say it doesn't exist around here, but the signage is poor and it's just not obvious. So I'll give up on that one. I'm going to go down to Brighton seafront now and have a look on Madeira Drive, because there's a charger down there that used to work really well. Again, that was a Brighton Council charger, and it was free on Polar. According to ZapMap, it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, well, we haven't had much luck with this electric blue yet, so let's head down there and give that a try. Okay, so yeah, we can't charge here either. That's the view out the front of the car, that's the charger, but they've blocked it off with these plastic things. So it's not working out well, is it? And this is, yeah, welcome to the joys of owning an electric car. And I can say that, you know, this isn't the kind of experience I normally have, but it's certainly not the experience I want to have, or the experience anybody wants to have. So my initial intention was to come down to Brighton, park up, try out these electric blue chargers, and go for a walk. And I have not been able to do that at all. So yeah, but I mean, I guess this sort of turned this video into a demonstration of how frustrating the ownership and charging experience with an EV can actually be. It can be very difficult to find locations to charge on 3 or 7 kilowatt chargers when you want to park up for a couple of hours. You think that you're going to find something on ZapMap easily, but sometimes they don't work, sometimes they don't even exist, and sometimes they've just been closed off randomly without knowing that that's going to be the case. So yeah, frustrating. Okay, so that's the end of that short range test through Brighton city centre. I did 10 miles, about 45 minutes of driving, and you can see a really low average speed. But the consumption is good, 29.5 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. Had the air off, which is not a comfortable way to drive. It doesn't get that cold. I think that's one of the good things about this car. It's so well sealed. There's not much air leakage, so it's only 13 degrees outside, but I wasn't cold, and I'm not wearing a jacket, so that wasn't an issue. But the window's steamed up, and that's inconvenient. That's not a pleasant way to drive, really, to be honest. But in terms of range, if you do a lot of city driving, perhaps you could get a range of, that works out, 29.5 works at about 245 miles of total range. So you could get quite decent range, especially in the summer. If it's 25 degrees and the battery temperature is at an optimum temperature, you could do quite well driving around in town or in a city at low speeds and being very gentle with the accelerator. I also had one pedal driving off, so I was coasting as much as possible just to see how that would affect it. But hopefully that was useful as well. A little bit of extra information for those who want to drive primarily in towns or cities. So the thing that really frustrates me about Brighton, right, is that we have a Green MP here. Brighton should be at the forefront of this kind of technology, and they should be leading from the front. But they're not. They're doing the exact opposite. They've implemented the electric blue system, which is a great idea in theory to have electric lamppost chargers. But as you saw, I couldn't get the first one to work. And then the second one didn't exist. Okay, that might be ZapMap's fault, because to be fair, that one's not listed on the electric blue app. And then the third charger, well, that wasn't electric blue, that was Brighton Council. And that was unusable. But that's 3 examples where I had a frustrating experience. And that's not the way that this should be. Now, the other problem with electric blue is that even if I did find one, some of them are in residence parking, so they're residents only, and that's great. If you have a permit, then you should be able to charge. I agree with that. But it's the cost. It's 27 pence per kilowatt. That is very expensive. I mean, on Polar, I would be charging for free at Trafalgar Street car park. On Pod Point, I could park at Tesco, or in fact, I could go to the Asda, the Brighton Marina. I could charge for free there. So why is there a big jump? Why are we going from free charging on some of these Polar and Pod Point systems to 27 pence per kilowatt on the electric blue. It's not even a small difference. It is a huge jump. And 27 pence, if you're getting 3 kilowatts, 3 miles per kilowatt, then you're going to be spending, say, 9 pence per mile. Now, the average diesel or efficient petrol car could do maybe 12 or 13 pence per mile. So it's hardly a saving. Now, I would be okay with that, perhaps, if it was an area of London, for example, that perhaps had higher costing or a reason why they felt they needed to implement that. But Brighton, with a Green MP, they should be at the forefront. So they should be offering incentivized ways to charge cars and not charging some of the highest priced 3 and 7 kilowatt charging in the country. And there are hardly any 7 kilowatts. Most of them are 3. So I think that's very disappointing. And I think that is a real shame that Brighton haven't found a better way of implementing a system like this. That could really show that they were leaders in this area. There is also a significant lack of rapid chargers. You can see from this shot of ZapMap that there are hardly any. I mean, I think there's one in Brighton at the moment. Now that may change in the future, but again, there are more in Crawley, and there are more literally within, I'd say, a 10-minute drive of my house, which is in the middle of a village, than there are in the city of Brighton. So there is a lot of work to be done, I feel, to improve upon this system. And yeah, I just think that the experience of using it was frustrating, but I don't want that to put people off EV driving. Driving an electric car is fantastic, but you do have to, at this stage, you have to think ahead. You have to make sure you have the range you need. And if you do want to charge, you either have to plan and know where you're going, or you may have to just give it a try and hope that it works out okay and that you find a charger that's functional. But yeah, I hope this has been interesting and a useful video, and has highlighted some of the pitfalls about charging electric cars. So yeah, please like, subscribe down at the bottom, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Thank you.